Picasso had a blue period, I had a Taylor Swift period, or should I say era. I made nothing but her costumes for 2 whole years. Though I do not claim to be the Picasso of sewing, I do have something very necessary for any costumer: delusion. And so today I'm going to share with you all of my fruits of my delusion, and I'm going to put on each costume I made, tell you from a rate of 1 to 5 how difficult I thought each costume was, also how expensive it was to make, and then also I'm going to share with you how long I remember it taking. I have a very unreliable narrator in my mind, so maybe some of these numbers are not exact, but these are pretty close estimates. So without further ado, here are all the Taylor Swift costumes I have made to this point. Starting strong, we have... Okay, but before we start, we need to do something very important first. Much better. So here's my lover bodysuit. I decided to make this one, and it was down to a literal coin flip because I was torn between this one and, of course, the blue and pink one. The coin decided flamingo pink, and I think I spent around 110 hours because I not only made the bodysuit, I also added all the rhinestones, did all the sequining, and I also added some beads to the lines here, so they're a little bit more pronounced. Money-wise, I probably spent around $400. We'll say the most expensive thing for this project probably was the glue, which is crazy. Difficulty-wise, I would definitely say this is a solid 4, and one of those points in there is definitely because of the patience. I also made the mic pack for this one, and I also have the boots, which I colored and also did the soles and all that. And so let me put these on really quick, and then we'll move on to the next era. I'm not usually one to enjoy wearing outfits quite like this, but there is something about this outfit that just makes you feel good. Okay, here she is. This is actually the first Taylor Swift costume I have ever made, and it was only $15 because I made this out of remaining wedding dress fabric. So this is very special to me, and I don't really honestly remember making this outfit. I had to guess and said it was a 2.5 out of 5 difficulty rating, and I also guessed it took about 14 hours to make just because I had to hand do all this trimming. I love this 1989 look, and let's go on to some more 1989 looks. Ooh, this is my Eras Tour original blue one. I just remember loving this outfit from the moment she came on stage and she announced Taylor's version 1989. This was a big moment, so this blue one meant a lot to me. And so this also, this might just be the most unhinged thing I ever made. It doesn't really look like it maybe from there, but when you zoom up, you just see delusion. What I mean by that is I put on each of those beads that you see on here by hand, and also I did not even dare to finish the back. And I also hand beaded also the entire skirt. And yeah, I estimate I spent around $200 to $220 on making this. The fabric wasn't so expensive, it was more all the beads and the trimming. I estimate I spent around 35 to 40 hours making this, and for difficulty I give it a solid 3.5 out of 5. And a green one! Woo! I love this one so much. I think this is about the same, 3.5 out of 5 stars for difficulty, but this one was a little less expensive just because I did not add all of the beads onto the fabric this time. I got smart and just used sequin fabric, and so I did still make all the tassels by hand, and I estimate I spent around $160 to make this because, again, this silver trim can add up. Also, if you want to make one of these too, I do have a pattern out for a lot of these looks you're going to see today, including this one, and I estimate I spent around 25 to 27 hours to make this outfit. Okay, and the updated version. So I have only made these 2 pieces. I wanted to make more because I thought it'd be cool to like mismatch them and everything. But no, I just did these 2 because this was a behemoth, and so I did not want to make any more after this. I was done because this thing took me like probably like 50 to 60 hours because I put all of these rhinestones on basically by hand. I did use my bejeweled board for a lot of it. This is a double circle skirt, and so this was just a lot to do, and this outfit definitely has like the best swirl to it. Difficulty, I give it a solid 3.5 out of 5 just because the rhinestoning again was just like soul sucking at sometimes and I wanted to give up. In total, I spent about $120 because I actually also got this fabric gifted to me by Blue Moon Fabric. Thank you so much, Blue Moon. And so I just had to spend money on rhinestones and this little tiger guy right here. Anyway, let's move on to my last 1989 outfit. Uh-oh, it's a Grammy dress. I love this outfit so much. It's not quite done in the back, and if I'm being honest, I don't remember even making this outfit, and so I have no idea how much it cost. I have no idea how long it took, and I can estimate though it probably was a solid 2.5 out of 5 difficulty. And so yeah, I love this Grammy outfit. I think it's really cute and just iconic. These two colors, that moment in time, iconic. So yeah. Ooh, it's a ball gown. Let me back you up really quick. Ta-da! This is my I Bet You Think About Me dress from the music video. I love this dress. It's huge. I have this beautiful flower fabric and I made these little flowers here out of lace, and there's also a train to it. So that's nice. I estimate spending around $250 mainly though for this flower fabric in the back because it's more expensive than say all this like cheap tulle and polyester satin and all that. I estimate that this took me about 15 hours to make because there was some hand sewing and different elements to this dress and just the sheer volume of sewing because this is a big one. And then difficulty, I give it a solid 3 out of 5. For the adventurous beginner, this would be a good project. I bet you think about me, yeah. While you're further away, let's try on some more ball gowns. The Cupcake dress. Oh, this was a big dress for me because this is the first time I made something and it went viral and it kind of changed my life. So I owe a lot to this dress. Let's talk the nitty-gritty. So I only made this dress because one day I saw this chiffon down here on sale for $1.99 a yard. I thought to myself, that looks like that dress that Taylor Swift just wore on stage. I decided to make it, and then this dress right here was the gateway drug into making all of these costumes. So a round of applause for this Cupcake dress. Yay! So I estimate I spent around $200, maybe a little bit less honestly, to make this entire dress because I actually got a lot of this on sale, which was huge. And then I estimate I spent around 20 to 22 hours to make this dress, and difficulty, I give it a 3 out of 5. Maybe a 3.5 because this mesh here is weird and different. Also, you can see I have a mic pack on the back of this dress. And the Blue Speak Now dress. I love this dress so much. This dress is really cool because I added a whole bunch of flowers and stuff to the hem and also tried to emulate the like strings, the different colors of blues and grays that are in this dress to the best of my ability, of course. I give this a solid 3 out of 5 because this neckline is really weird. This dress was about $300, believe it or not, because not only was this fabric expensive, but also the flowers I got. And I guesstimate that this took about 21 hours to make, again, because of this neckline, and then also all that trimming down here and different stuff I glued on. Really did take a while. Red. This might be the most deceptive project of them all because it looks kind of simple, right? Wrong. This actually took 18 to 20 hours, I estimate, because I hand sequined pretty much the whole top. Even though the fabric did have a natural sequin ombre to it, it wasn't red enough. And you know, I'm trying to be as accurate as possible, so of course I took the extra time to do that. This romper I give a solid 2 out of 5 difficulty, so if you are a beginner and want to make one of these, this might be a great first Taylor Swift project for you as well. I spent about $140 just to make this romper because the fabric was more expensive. While we are here, I should also apologize to all the Fearless fans out there because I don't have anything Fearless to show you, which is really sad. I do have a whole bunch of stuff to make, the like champagne one, but I haven't made it yet. So maybe leave a comment down below, say make a dress, and I might be persuaded to make a Fearless dress. All right, moving on. Folklore. Folklore. It's Folklore, baby. I'm gonna sit down. I'm getting tired. Nice. This is my blue Folklore dress. It's also a very special dress to me because it's also the first dress I ever made a pattern for. What's really great about a Folklore dress is I found you can actually make them for not that much money because I found wholesale fabric places and websites offer a lot of chiffon. I only spent around $80 for this outfit, which is crazy considering I think I bought around 12 yards of fabric. Also, I give this a solid 3 out of 5 for difficulty just because of all the hemming, the sheer amount of fabric, and also working with lace can sometimes be rather tricky. I estimate I spent around 15 to 18 hours making this dress, and yeah, I definitely think it is worth it. And I do have a video out actually on a lot of these costumes, but including this one if you also want to make one of these dresses. Ooh, the white Folklore dress. This might be my favorite costume I made from the Taylor Swift world because everything I wanted happened with this dress, and very few times you make a costume and that happened. Believe it or not, this costume only cost me about $100 because again, I got that wholesale fabric, but I did spend a lot of money on actually some good high quality thread and some rhinestones which cover this outfit. Adding all of these different lines on here literally took me days, and I estimate spending around 20 to 23 hours on this dress. Probably more than that. And so I did all the branches, and all of the branches for the most part have rhinestones on them. And so that little fine work really added up in the end. But I think the payoff is definitely worth it because I love this white Folklore dress so much. And it might be my favorite Taylor Swift costume I ever made. The next costume though, definitely rivals this costume. Ooh, ta-da! Da-da-da-da-da. This is my bronze Evermore dress. Unfortunately, when I made this, I was smart enough to put in the cheapest piece of garbage zipper, so it like broke like last month, and so we're just working with it now. I'm going to fix it. The fabric is wonderful. It does have beads and sequin on it, which did mean at the time I had to hammer every single seam line because, you know, you can't sew through plastic beads. It was totally worth it because this dress is just beautiful. I wish she wore it more on the tour. This dress was about $320 to make, and I estimate it's about a 3.5 out of 5 difficulty, and it took me about 20 hours to make to 25 hours, somewhere in that range, maybe a little bit more. Again, the unreliable narrator up here likes to dilute my memories. And also sewing is fun, so the time really does go by quick. But yeah, this is my Evermore dress, but hold on, I need to go grab something. Oh, yoo-hoo! I also made a cape. Really quickly, the cape I give a 1 out of 5 difficulty. I spent about $120 for this cape, and also it took me about 6 hours to make. Oh, costume change. Let me take the cape off real quick. This dress is just so comfy. I love it so much, and that's actually why I wore it to my show in Liverpool, because it's just so comfy. Let's talk numbers though. I estimate spending about $170 on this dress, not only for the fabric, but obviously all the applique and everything that goes into it. And I give this a solid 3.5 out of 5 just because of the cups and this stuff. You know what, maybe it's a 4. We'll give this a 4 out of 5 because there's just a lot going on in this dress. And with everything going on in this dress, it took me about 25 hours to make. This is my midnight ensemble with my t-shirt dress. I don't know what it is about having these long sleeves like this. It really makes you want to like do the moves. Like, I get it. I get the vibe. Of course, it has the rhinestones on it as well. This lavender haze jacket was about $90 to make, and it was a solid 2 out of 5 for the difficulty. And lastly, it was about 8 hours of work, of course, not only to make the jacket, but to add all the rhinestones and stuff that kind of gets lost in it, but it's really fun if you do see it. And then, of course, the dress. And so this is my midnight t-shirt dress. I was never gonna make one of these for myself because I've actually made about 20 of these dresses by hand for people back when I did commissions. But this one was one that had a mistake in it. It was too short, and so I got it. Hi! And so I can tell you with 100% certainty that these cost about $90 to make. They take about 5 hours to make. And also for me at this point, they're like a solid 1.5 out of 5 difficulty because again, I've made 20 of them. It's just a big t-shirt, and this one also has the quick change zipper down the back. Reputation. This is my Reputation suit. I love it. I think it came out pretty good. I did glue all of this on, so the mobility, to be honest, is not the best. I can still like move, obviously. It's just, I don't know if I could like do what she does, if that makes sense. This was a very special project also because it was the first time a company sent me fabric for free. So this only really cost me the cost of the snakes and the glue and stuff like that. But that still came out to like $180, which that's crazy. It's just crazy how much trim can really add up. This costume might be the hardest costume I made just because these snakes and everything. I give this a 4 out of 5 difficulty because of that, and also it's a bodysuit, which can be really tricky. And everything also is asymmetrical, so there's also a different pattern piece for every side and every piece of this outfit. So it's just a really unique costume in general. And also this took about 30 hours to make because of that. This thing really makes you feel powerful, and it's just so much fun to wear. You really feel like you're like on top of the world, will crush anybody, you're that girl. And now for some random dresses. This is a Premiere inspired dress that I made. I love the asymmetrical slit. It's a really simple little silver number. And then this one, this denim dress has to be my favorite casual look she has ever worn. I actually made it out of 5 pairs of old jeans, so it wasn't too expensive. And I actually have 2 of them because I made a pattern for it after I made this original dress. And lastly, a part of the random is my TTPD Grammy dress. The day she announced it, but honestly, after like 3.5 hours of trying on all my clothes, I don't have the willpower to do a lace-up corset back. But also, this thing is kind of turned into a piece of garbage because I only spent about $60 on this dress, and it is falling apart after wearing it to an event. And also, I just didn't do a good job on it. And so I give this one a solid 3.5 out of 5 for difficulty because of all the draping. And I also think it took me about 12 hours to make. And that is it. Well, almost. Maybe you noticed this corset. I made this corset as well, inspired by her look from one of the Chiefs games. It's really cute. I have a pattern out for it as well if you want to make this corset as well. And I'm excited to go take a nap. That was a lot, and it gave me a new appreciation for everything that I made. Even just putting on things I haven't worn in so long made me kind of excited about sewing again, and not just Taylor Swift stuff, other things that really make me excited, like something you might see in the mirror here. And so be sure to subscribe if you want to see some more sewing. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me and going down memory lane with me today, and I will see you in the next one.